Dear PlayStation and Sony Santa Monica, I write this open letter as a fan and firm believer that the PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale brand is still salvageable. Granted, we may need to work on a shorter and simpler name. I know for the longest time PlayStation wanted this to be what Smash Bros. Is to Nintendo, a celebration of Sony and the PlayStation, and with the 20th celebration being this year, I find this a perfect time for me to try to raise interest for a sequel. I've read an interview with Mr. Yoshida to never say never to a sequel, but may want to take a different approach with the game, which I believe is the right choice, and I am here to offer my different approach to the game. This video was originally going to be a look back at what went wrong with the game. Well, at least audience reception wise and a little development wise. The game got decent reviews across the board, not bad for a small new company specifically made to make this game, but as any scourer of the internet at that time will tell you that the bandwagon hate for this game was immense leading up to the game's release, calling it a knockoff, making it seem like Nintendo owns the 4-player party brawler genre. While I do agree with some criticisms of the game, such as the inclusions of a handful of characters and some designs of the gameplay, but like I said at the beginning of this video, I am a fan of this game and want it to succeed. So I am here to propose a new way to take this series that might help bring it back on the map. A restructure of the game entirely and making it stand out more by bringing something a little different to the table, making an even bigger celebration of all things PlayStation. A quick disclaimer though, I am no game developer nor a fighting game expert, so if anything seems off, I apologize. And Sony Santa Monica, if it is at all possible, if you like what you see, you have my permission to use it. Just please try to find a way to let me know, shoot me an email or something. I don't want to pick up PlayStation All-Stars Round 2 and see my ideas, then try to convince people online I helped with the idea. People will never believe me. First off, let's scratch the 4-player brawler formula. It's hard enough on you guys that the internet already hates you for riding on the Smash Bros. Train by making a crossover fighting game, let alone making a quirky 4-player brawler. You had a somewhat advantage with the original because Smash Bros. 4 hadn't been announced yet, but 4 is now out and it's majorly successful. We need to deviate from that as much as possible. I like the ideas of supers, and we can keep those, but we need to use them in a different way. With this new iteration, we will be sticking to the classic fighting game style of one-on-one on a 2D layout, standard way you wanted to go with, in the veins of games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, you know, those kinds. In this example, let's have Kratos face off against Nathan Drake. Classic one-on-one with combos and everything you could want out of a fighting game. Now comes in my idea to add something new to the mix. Borrowing from the successful EVO game Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, after you select your fighter, you'll be taken to another character selection screen, but not for another fighter, but for what I'll call an assistant. An assistant character is someone who pops into your match when called upon, like in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, to do a move that can help you get out of a bad situation or help extend a combo. This mechanic is seemed to be implied into the new fighting game Pokken Tournament. I wish I made this video before that game was announced, as I had this idea quite a while ago, but oh well. This new PlayStation All-Stars will be pretty much a mix of everything, I guess. This assistant mechanic could help bring in more franchise representation, such as popular side characters, villains, obscure characters, or characters we could just not flesh out to be a fully fledged fighter. But I got something even more on top of this. Adding to the mixture, borrowing from Smash Bros. Yes, I know we want to depart ourselves from that as much as possible, but hear me out. You know how in Smash Bros. And even in the previous All-Stars there are items? Items from franchises representing both from franchises that have fighters and ones that does not? You know where I'm going with this. And no, it's not to have items randomly appear on the stage. Rather, after selecting your fighter and your assistant, you get to select an item to assist you in battle. These items can come from a wide range of franchises, both represented by fighters and ones that don't. These items, like assistants, can bring a variety of power-ups, boosts, extra attacks, armor, among many other things. Remember how I compared it to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3? In that game, you have 3 characters working together on a team that switch in and out. In my version of Battle Royale, you have a character along with an assistant and an item to aid your fighter. And just to clarify how these will work, assistants and items will have a cooldown period before they can be used again, or can only be used once per fight depending on the system item for balancing purposes. In my version of Battle Royale, you can have Kratos working alongside Zeke from Infamous with an Aku Aku mask from Crash Bandicoot, fighting Nathan Drake working alongside a Patapon with a Paopu fruit from Kingdom Hearts, with a ton more possibilities. With my vision, I believed I have put together a kind of fighting game that can help do what PlayStation wanted out of All-Stars Battle Royale, being a celebration of all things PlayStation, with playable main characters to assistant side characters and villains to franchise recognizable items. It celebrates all the games PlayStation have to offer. And also, let's ditch the collab stages. It was cute, but with it going back to 2D fighting game basics, just make cool backgrounds from franchise famous locations. Maybe even represent games that don't have characters or items. For example, let's say the cabin from Until Dawn as a stage. See what I mean? This simplifying can lead to many more possibilities of game representations, which is what I believe you want out of a game like this. Now, I know this is a big topic, maybe I should save this for another video entirely, but I'm going to briefly discuss it here. But this is the topic of playable characters. Unlike Smash Bros., PlayStation and Sony Santa Monica run into problems that Nintendo does not. All Sony characters are under many roofs, even if the franchise is PlayStation exclusive. They need permission and guidelines. As Omar Kendall, the director of the original game, said, "It's like, oh, we want to use Kratos, we need to go talk to the God of War team. Oh, we want to use Drake, we need to go talk to the Uncharted guys and get their permission. They have the right to say yes, they have the right to say no. They have the right to say, you can use our character this way, he needs to look that way, he can only use these moves." So even though someone like Kratos or Nathan Drake would be obvious choices, the creative teams behind them can easily say no. And to some extent, I don't blame them. Superbot being an unknown newly created company for the game, who knows if they can handle your precious IP with care and respect? I can see why many companies may have turned them down for the rights of their iconic character. But this is where I think the rights for All-Stars going over to Sony Santa Monica was a good thing. Not only does this kind of make Kratos, Sweet Tooth, and Fat Princess kind of lock-ins once again, but I think with Sony Santa Monica being a bigger and more respected company, with plenty of success on their belt, they may be able to sway other and more companies to lend their IPs over to them for a new All-Stars game. And just for fun, I threw together my own dream roster. I know it's a lot, even for big roster games like Street Fighter. This is gigantic. But hopefully this will show the kind of characters fans want that Sony Santa Monica should go after. And I've already shown you some examples for assistants and items, and even if some characters on this list are so out there and be almost impossible to make a fully fleshed out fighter, I'm sure fans would just be as okay if they became an assistant? Just a present should be good enough, right? I believe that does it for this rant. I know it's a lot, but this idea came to me and I just wanted to share. If you like my idea, please help spread this video for me, and hopefully someone at PlayStation or Sony Santa Monica will see this video. I would love to see this franchise evolve and have another installment, and I hope after seeing this video you do too. This has been Moonlight150, and I'll see you next time.